What's good, man? It's OG Drip, man, the channel where we talk about the spiritual truth and how to utilize energy on a day-to-day basis, man. Today, man, it's finna get deep, man. You might want your popcorn for this, but check it out, man. When it get down to these battles, these spiritual warfares, it's deeper than a lot of people see, right? Where angels could actually see it by not being paraded by the view, or not being paraded by the gender, or not being paraded by the skin tone, or whatever it is that make them lean towards something. So at the end of the day, this is what we be meaning when God say, come naked, come as you are. You get what I'm saying? So boom, let's get into some understanding. Who are you? You know what I'm saying? That starts off with the first house. So a lot of people that's Aries that we see today that took in that charker has a hard time not being themselves, right? So when we looking at the opposite sign, like Libras, all the way to like the 12th house, you know what I'm saying, from the 7th to the 12th house, however you want to look at it, there'll be someone that has a hard time being themselves, right? So at the end of the day, this is where we have to learn from not just looking at, oh, this is your sun sign, but your planets only just telling you what you're paying attention to. So even if the house is empty, you still have all 12 houses. So at the end of the day, do not have a biasness or a favoriteness towards someone or something or anyone when it comes down to them just trying to get things across. So right now, the angels will be the ones that's actually breaking down things like what I was just explaining, and also explaining when someone do certain things. Where is this energy coming from? So we all have to know before it gets here, it came from somewhere else. And that somewhere else is the mind. But before it came from the mind, it had to come from somewhere else, which is the spirit. But sometimes the spirit gets into a vehicle because it be in a vehicle or traveling into this certain mind state or paying attention to this certain stuff so long that not only do it makes fake images, but it goes and grabs those things as reality, even if it ain't real. So when we get down to this, right now, angels, the people that's actually trying to help people, just from the goodness of their heart, with no attachments actually to it, of saying, hey, oh, I had to help you. No, these people could help you, and a little bit of help that they give you, they probably give you more than what they can even give you, and you probably don't even deserve it from the beginning. So as angels, we even know, hey, this person probably don't even deserve this, but we still and yet help. You know what I'm saying? And that what stings, and that what burn. So for what I'm trying to tell you guys right now is, it get deep, because when you come with your intentions, it's going to come with a lot of skull into it. But that's cool, because you know as an angel, you know what God done put you through. Even if it's a physical thing, and you still looking like, damn, how am I alive? How, you know what I'm saying? And it had to come from somewhere. When you was looking in your mind where maybe like certain things you did, people try to look at it different. Oh, you was soft because you didn't go to prison. You get what I'm saying? Or you dumb, but they ain't really looking at the actuality of how your life actually came out. Damn, look at what I had, you know, or look at what you had. You only had crumbs, but you made that crumb look good. You get what I'm saying? You made things look better than what it looked. So even if you put on a raggedy outfit, now it play out like people don't even really say nothing about your raggedy outfit. People don't really say nothing about your dirty shoes. And it's crazy, but that's how the world really play out. But when you're dealing with individuals, you start giving people to yourself. You start giving yourself to people. So even when they go down to marriage and stuff, do what you mean by giving yourself to God and then giving yourself to this person. Because when you give yourself to God, aka saying you're cleansing yourself. So within inside of yourself, before even interacting with others, even on the zodiac thing, you got the first 6 houses, talking about yourself. Before you interact with others is the 7th to the 12th. That's why it's the 7th to the 12th when we play out in this world. So when we say the world is inverted, the people that's actually trying to do things for selfish reasons actually be looked at as good guys. The people that's actually helping, or the people that's actually there during hard times, be looked at as bad times, because now when the good times is around, it's hard to see the bad. So it's really inverted out here. And the thing about it is, we as angels, we see the shit, but we have to be tough. We have to be strong. We have to keep going on. And this is what makes us grasp towards the masculine energy. Hey, grab your balls and keep it pushing, or whatever you got to say. So when I'm talking to people and I'm teaching y'all, well, I'm not teaching y'all, but I'm talking about things, and I'm going off certain constructions or certain ways that it was constructed, whether you believe in a religion or not, of talking about how the Bible even broke down Adam and Eve was cool to a certain degree. Everything else that came after that was a disgrace, as in saying 2 masculine energies, as in saying 2 feminine energies, as in saying the masculine and 2 feminines, feminine and 2 masculine. It went to explaining all these different type of things, but people think it as, oh, it just meant it physical. No, it get all the way back to the spirit realm of saying you can't have too much masculine energy. and you can't have too much feminine energy. You can't have too much of anything. Too much of anything is bad. Too less of anything is bad. So, but you'd rather have less than to be more vulnerable when it comes down to certain conclusions. Instead of you being a man and being like, I'm a man, I can do everything myself. That's too high of masculine energy. Therefore, nobody won't want to help you. As a woman, being too giving, it'd be like coming out as a hoe. And a lot of men be unattracted to that. Or the men that's attracted to that is not actually men, and they're kind of feminine themselves. So it falls back like stuff like that, where now it's two wrongs trying to make a right. So in a way, the same thing the Bible was breaking down. So a lot of people come in with biasness. A lot of people, so we don't have to actually have the Illuminati themselves or the shadow powers actually blocking the algorithm all the time, because you have people where certain shit hurt and they can't handle it. So when they're hearing these messages that's telling you, hey, don't bring your fucking feelings in this shit. Hey, don't bring your thoughts in this shit. Let's just hear this shit. Just look at it and see what's actually going on. So even when we bringing out a square, a compass, you can even know why the Mason's breaking it down. You can know why it's breaking down 4 parts of a person's life. Talking about the first things that they interact in. Then it goes down to talking about the second things that they interact with themselves. The first to the third house. Then the fourth to the sixth house. Oh, bam, bam. Now it's talking about how, this one was talking about how you communicate. So then it started kind of leaning towards, okay, how are you going to bring this energy out to be played upon? So even there, you can see that as a positioning, and it's still going, hey, masculine, feminine, masculine, feminine, masculine, feminine, masculine, feminine. But it started off with the one, started off with the masculine. So when we see things like spring, knowing that Aries is being like the representation of someone that's full of themselves, this would make sense. So when we say someone that's never actually intact with things, that's super far away from even themselves, that's how you see Pisces, the opposite side, or the other end away. But at the same time, you'll see someone where Aries has too much of the sun, right? But Libra, saying that constellation, saying your 7th house, right? If you don't have Libra placements, your 7th house is your relationships. So you might not see it right. You might not see how you the one that's the toxic part of the relationship, because you haven't been enough to go inside yourself. See, like where Aries might admit to themselves and just tell you, hey, if you can't deal with it, oh well, or we could just separate. You might be like, damn, fuck you, you full of yourself. But that's a lot of reasons why at the end of the day they'll burn a bridge for themselves, or you will burn a bridge for yourself, using too much of this selfish energy. So while I'm bringing out these things and just saying, wait, what is our chakras? What is it? This is the reason why we be like, fuck your chakra, fuck your minds, fuck what zodiac you was born with. And that's the reason why some people in this world get irritated when you say, oh, what's your zodiac? Because it don't mean nothing. How was you raised? What was your life experiences? How did you kick away from these zodiacs? Did you use them like bitches? Did you use, say me, for example, right? I'm a Virgo. Did you use the analyzing of looking at how life really is? Like, damn, people really just living to die. And at the end of the day, even when they grown, fuck, they still ain't got no say-so. Damn, they still got to answer to people even if they ain't alive. Shit like that I went to analyzing. Shit like that I had to transmute. Shit like that we got to bring it to the foreplay. Because if I'm thinking like this, it's probably others out there that's thinking like this. So now, oh shit, we start creating different lights, different spectrums. So now we can see what's really going on. So now we got a clear lens instead of using the one that was cloggy already, using the minds that was over there. Like, yes, you can have your own mind, but at the same time, on your mind, that'll have nothing to do with nobody else. They're letting you know you're being egotistical, using only personal shit, only the 1 to the 6. You only analyzing your life. You ain't taking a life and looking at other people's life and seeing what other people go through. So that's probably what make your life better. And then sometimes you have to have that. And sometimes the judgment itself is going to speak. You don't have to say it. Let God be the judge of that. You can see how certain people move throughout life and how they can't handle certain shit. When you God body, you can handle everything. You can handle an argument. You can handle somebody fucking over you in life. You can do it multiple times. You can raise motherfuckers multiple times. You can help motherfuckers multiple times and they can stab you in the back. And guess what? You can heal back. But at the end of the day, that ain't going to really hurt you because you're already doing it from God. So God is good. God is great all the time. So at the end of the day, when you know that, you're still going to have this world playing out things using the devil, using things like logic, where they're trying to make it like, hey, you're not in this position. AKA they're using Capricorn type of earthly, right? They're using this type of logic where they're like, hey, look where you at in life. They're using positions where they don't understand someone being this spiritual is not going to connect with everybody because everybody's not meant to be spiritual this life. So if everybody can be flunked, which everybody do, even including myself at times, how in the fuck can we say this world is percentage on the other end? No. So the niggas that's thinking different going to look inverted on this world. So shout out, angels. Y'all going to need all the support we could get. So at the end of the day, you see what I'm doing. A little bit of voice I got, I'm probably using it yelling at the kids and telling them structure in life of what to do, how to do things so they won't end up in a messed up path. So that's another reason why y'all see men have a strong podcast thing. Because we don't be like, damn, we hurt out of emotion and run towards something and let our emotion make us a whore because of one man hurt us or one woman hurt us or however the fuck it is. So at the end of the day, even if you're that person, you learn how to use your masculine energy. You learn how to use your divine feminine energy. Both of the divines. But at the same time, you still got to remember, you're in this body for a reason. That means your last lifetime, if you lived that lifetime, and if you didn't live a lifetime, you weren't reincarnated and came from the mind, the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension. That means you came from the realm of birth, the 7th, 8th, and 9th. So you're a super new spirit. You ain't even experienced nothing yet. You ain't go through shit yet. So, of course, you're going to have a lot of opportunities in life because the world is just trying to show you, hey, you could do whatever. But later on, now you're going to start seeing restrictions and things where God, like, hey, the time is thinning. Their time is almost up. It's almost time to give your life to God. Then you can understand scriptures and stuff like that without hating the Bible, without hating the Satan's book or whatever it's called, without hating the Torah, without hating books, but able to look at stuff that you probably even found boring and not appealing for something that's very beautiful. Because even the words in the beginning let you know something cardinal, something about to start. So it's just like, even little words start getting deep. So you even see, hey, it's nothing to talk about. In this world, is reality. This is what happened. The mind created this. The spirit created the mind. Adam and Eve shit going on. Then after that, it fell down to the mind. We playing out and telling you what the spirit was doing, but how the mind was distracting the spirit because the spirit itself was no thing, but it was getting into these things. AKA, that's the reason why I was going to tell you why the angels was kicked out of heaven for lusting out the earth. The earth, the woman of earth. But it was talking about women, aka the feelings and emotions of earth, of saying what they had towards it. Whether it was built off of logic or whether it was built off of the shit they had. Some people don't want to die because of what they got. Some people don't want to lose nothing they have. Some people just that egotistical. Some people feel like, hey, and this and that. And a lot of people that does these things, they don't just do it. They talk about it a lot. To let you know I'm fearing this. Because at the end of the day, why would you speak of something that you have no worries of? So when it comes to clearing your mind, even to yourself, if I'm always thinking and talking about this thing, am I really not scared of it? Always talking about Freddy Krueger. Always talking about the boogeyman. Right now, if a kid always talk about a ghost and say, hey, I'm not scared of ghosts, though, you're not going to really believe that. Not if you got your actual senses in play. But anyways, man, it's just stuff like this that I found very pretty cool to break down. Even if I do be having like 25 to 30 views, which y'all know it don't pay money. I tell y'all straight up, I never made over $1,000 on this, but I still choose to do it for years over years. Why? Because y'all remember in the beginning? It was to get my spiritual message across. I had a testimony. My son saved me. When a lot of people would say, hey, you shouldn't even have had him on the back of the dirt bike. So it might not reflect to demons. They might not be understanding. Because they might be looking at me from like, oh, look, he's so selfish. No, I know how to use the Aries part of my life. I know how to use the first house of my life, if you want to use that, and not use the zodiacs or the words that he used. But at the same time, we're just pointing in a direction of where something coming from. So I do know how to go within myself. Because at the same time, especially me being the only child, y'all, tell y'all, I ain't had no brothers and sisters I have to focus on, worried about what sis gonna think, what bro gonna think. Hell nah. I had to worry about how I'm gonna look as a man and all, how I'm gonna look as an individual, because I only reflected for myself. So I had to remember that. So damn, if I go into somewhere, let me give you an example. If I go somewhere running my mouth and it's 4 niggas or a brother and sister, I gotta expect my ass to get jumped. So I gotta be ready that day. That doesn't mean that all the time you gotta let shit go by because they got brothers or they got sisters. Hell nah, I had to stand up for myself. But just because I'm able to break down that type of stuff there, where I'm able to grab my personal experience and bring it out to the world, how I interact with the world, what I'm doing right now on YouTube. That's showing you how I use all the personal stuff that I went through, how I use the stuff that I value, how I use the stuff that I've seen, the people I was communicating with, the way I looked at home, the way I looked at my privacy, the way I looked at the things I was entertained by, the things that I was actually paying attention to, all the way to saying, hey, if I paid attention to all this, let me bring it to the rest of the world so they can see where I'm coming from, because this shit put me in a better space of mind than money could ever do. Even when I done had lump sums of money, it never felt like the shit I'm feeling now. Like, you talking about feelings, and I understand, like, you know, we use minds and shit, right? But let me give y'all a breakdown. When you got a God feeling, when it's coming from that shit, it's different. When it's coming from the spirit realm, it's different when it hit down here. Because it's going to bring a lot, but you just like, damn, no matter what it come with, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for whatever. And it give you like that TTG type shit, right? Where you train to go. I don't really, you know, sometimes you don't know where you put things on you, why you do things in life, why the play outs and stuff. But sometimes you don't need to question it. Sometimes you just need to sit back and look, aka that self-analyzation. Start looking at your life. No, not saying, oh, it would have played out like this, it would have played out like that. If this person, stop including other people. Start thinking about just you and how you interact with others. And it'll make a difference. As soon as you start thinking about other people's minds and stuff, that lets you know you washed aside. You can't even be spiritual because you always worried about someone else in that sense. So at the end of the day, everything got degrees, but it is ways and shit that somebody like me on the internet got to get on here and be very careful with what I say, because it is so much things that can be taken the wrong way due to demons with self-comfort, which is what the devil, and I was explaining that, like things, especially when it comes to someone's intentions. They'll get comfortable with the intentions, even though the intentions is dark and doing it for wrong reasons, aka like this Lilith type energy. Oh yeah, I'm gonna show you masculine, well, feminine masculine energy, however you want to look at it. Y'all get the picture. When someone is taking, hey, I don't want to be a man looking at me a certain way, I could do what he do, as in saying your emotions. So now you put your emotions over your thoughts. You know your thoughts probably was right to one degree, but you was like, fuck that. I'm gonna do this shit with my emotions. I'm gonna show my thoughts. They ain't shit. They just nothing but fear. Sometimes you create your own fears and fucking fight yourself. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these celebrities be explaining stuff like that, and they don't know who to talk to. So, okay, can't wait. Hey, you know, they're going to bump into me one day, and they probably already do. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to see like, oh, okay, here goes somebody that's understanding me without pointing fingers and saying I'm crazy, because they never experienced, because the people that's saying that never experienced high extreme levels of things throughout life, and not saying they took it out on the world, saying they brought it to the world and say, hey, world, don't do this shit. Hey, world, don't be looked at like this, because at the end of the day, even if you think that's what you want, because you think that's what your intentions is, it's not right. Sometimes y'all be in dark intentions, and sometimes the things you're trying to do is always going to lead you into falling on your face. Sometimes you ain't even have to be independent, but now you put yourself into that type of energy, especially when it comes to females. And sometimes as a man, like I was explaining earlier, you being a one, sometimes you put yourself in situations where you ain't got no choice but to be a man now, because you too masculine. You pushing all the girls away. You feel what I'm saying? They like, damn, fuck you. What the point of me putting my feelings into it? And the only thing you gonna do is block my feelings and not care. Just keep cheating on me. Just keep bringing up other girls every time I put my all into you. So fellas, you got to stop that shit too. So at the end of the day, even when it get to the mental thing, and all that, in the day is still, like I said in the beginning of the video, it falls back from the spirit realm. So if you don't believe me, hey, that just lets you know that's your fault. Because there's thousands of others, and the motherfuckers that believe that is ruling the world right now. The ones that's controlling this type of shit. So at the end of the day, they believed it, and they still sticking to it. That's why they still writing the Bible the same way. It don't matter if they edit some words. It's still talking about Adam and Eve. It ain't starting out talking about Eve and Steve. It ain't starting out talking about Eve and Aisha. Nope. So at the end of the day, you don't got to like me or nothing like that because you have a certain feeling towards somebody. I'm not telling you that. I don't care what sex you come in here as. I don't care what you do in your spare time. That ain't my point. My point, as long as y'all can have that shit within each other, which have some type of structure, shit, you can have a brother or somebody around that's very structured as a man that could probably help y'all out if it's two females or whatever. But two brothers instead of having one side, because one might only take biases towards one side. But anyway, I ain't even get deep into helping people become better demons if that's what they want to be. But at the end of the day, it's not saying that they're being demons, the ones that know that. So if you're spiritual and you know what I'm saying, you whatever your sex is, whatever you like it, but yet you still able to understand this stuff and let you know I'm not talking to you at all. So demons like to invert things. They like to hear something that's really helpful, empowering, and they like to switch that bitch and make it underpowering and make it like you're doing it to break them, and you can literally not say nothing to them negative at all and still end up in a negative situation. And they can say nothing but negativity to you or show you negativity actions, and all you can show is love, and you can receive hate. So this is what we mean by we live in a love, hate place of world. Love, hate, value, appreciate, and shit like that. the values of how somebody see things. If somebody don't see the value in you, they're not going to appreciate the shit you do. Even if they say, hey, I appreciate it, they're going to later on show it throughout their body that their mind never appreciated you. So mentally, they didn't appreciate the shit you were doing. They felt like they could do it themselves, or they felt like they ain't need no help anyway. So back to saying, hey, they ain't need no one or two, but yet they're going to create the world. Yet they don't need Adam or Eve, but yet they're going to make the world. Or yet they need Adam and Steve, or yet, you see what I'm saying? And that's all I'm breaking down. Is two wrongs don't make it right. But in the world we live in, if you don't utilize these things, you'll be utilized by them. So at the end of the day, you might as well grab it. So it's like we say, if you don't use this world as a bitch, you will be bitched by the world. So what we mean by this is make the world submissive. Make the world listen to what you got to say. Make the world respect what you got going, even if other people looking at you crazy. So some homeless people, at least they still got their dignity. At least they still got their intentions on still being them. Some homeless people is angry. Some people is different. So when we breaking down these type of people, I'm just showing you different areas of where no matter where we go, these same fucking rules apply. So no matter where you run, no matter where you hide, you can't run from God. So at the end of the day, when we say karma gonna come get you type shit, that's even another sense of saying something that's actual spiritual. Some people make it so physical. Like, oh, that person got hurt because of this. No, that person got probably hurt because they needed to be in a better situation and maybe was working too hard in their motherfucking life. And since the government created all these systems, maybe it was meant for them to never have to work again and stress at the jobs that it was dealing with. See what I'm saying? See, demons be ready to judge things and be ready to prejudge because they have a cloudy vision, a cloudy lens. They don't see like, oh, this person going to work every day that's walking because they have to. Or they don't see that this person is in that shit or that position because they have to, not because of the choice this person made. So a lot of times they'll see that and invert it and flip it to make it fit their own biasness. So this is the reason why God be like, yo, I'm not finna deal with that bullshit. Come without it. So you got to know who you is. I can never get up here and tell a woman, hey, I know how to feel more than any woman in this world. No, because if a woman have her divine feminine and I don't reach mine as it right like I am, right, and I'm there because I even, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, saying they're at theirs, I'm at mine, I ain't got more access than them. They got the 60, I only could get up to the 40, bro. I only could pinch off 40%. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, that's all I can receive from the government. It's the 40. They will receive the 60. Female's supposed to receive the 60. They're receiving energy. Male's supposed to push off the 60. They're pushing off energy. So if you feel like a man pushing you off somewhere, you bumping heads with him, maybe you're coming back as a little man. Maybe you're coming back as a boy. Maybe if you're dealing with a man where you feel like he's being a bitch ass nigga, maybe he is being a bitch ass nigga. Maybe he's being too feminine to where the point is you can push over him. You can walk over him. He's not going to say nothing back. And there's women that deal with that shit right now where they might have a nigga in the house and they like, damn, this nigga can't even protect me. This nigga can't even be secure. This nigga can't even bring Saturn energy in the right way. See what I'm saying? You got to know how to use these vehicles, use these planets, use these zodiacs, use these whatevers as just saying to get through the world. But do not get into these things and think that these things is part of you. So anytime you start thinking your mind, no matter how deep it goes sometimes, is you too early and God ain't give it to you, you're going to see, damn, it crashed. But at the end of the day, depending on how clogged your mind is, you ain't going to want to accept it. So you're just going to have to live a whole couple more lives. And that's just what it is. So at the end of the day, that's what I'm saying. Everybody not able to understand this type of shit. I'm glad that YouTube and the algorithm at least allowed the video to even get out. So thank God for YouTube on that sense, you feel me? And that we can even connect with people across the world that have these same experiences that I have. Maybe they ain't go through what I went through to get where I'm at, but they ended up getting there anyway. So I can see where you travel from this side of the world. You travel from this side. You travel from this side. So we see the pot cut up. You see what I'm saying? As in saying, when you get deep into the 9th house, you understand that's why when you're a Sagittarius, you need to listen to the people that's around you. Stop saying, telling other people because of what you know of and who you talk to that you know everything else. Because it still be breakdowns. It still be, in Africa, this their main religion, but they still have other stuff. Or wherever. Y'all get the point of your actual spiritual. Where someone, they could go into the details, but they don't have to get that broad all the time. See where you could go both. You could get earthly. You could get airy. You could get fire. You could motivate. You can help others build their will. You could get watery. You could help women. As in saying, you could control water. You know how to help get out of emotions other people might be going through. And because I'm in my emotions, y'all think somebody regular go get sad and want to get on the internet, or somebody that's going through something, or someone that went through shit, gonna get on the internet and be like, hey, I just want to tell somebody what I went through, and that's it. No, I'm up here telling you as in others' life. That's the breakdowns of someone doing like actual native readings and things, tariots, shit like that, breaking down numerology, breaking down these different ways of looking at something, rather you're a boy or a girl. Just as long as you're spiritual, you'll be able to connect with the message. You can't connect if you're coming with a biasness. You can't connect if you're coming with this skin or this separation of not being Adam and Eve, being divine and being together, being one to God, under God together, being anointed under God together. Not one separated, not a married man messing with a girl that's not married. No, not no incest. So even when they play out in the real world, it's not right. So everybody wants someone to themselves. So even if you're the type of person that likes multiple people, that doesn't make it right. So even when it comes down to the, oh, what makes you right, Drip? It ain't me. It's spiritual. It's God saying it ain't right. If you don't believe it, that's how your ass got here in the beginning. And that's why you think the way you think. And that's the reason why you can't. That's the reason why you got to morph and change the Bible to make it fit your shit. Even black people. Oh, black Jesus. White people. Jehovah. Like, however, when they get down to that. So you know when I'm coming here, I don't give a damn if you white, tan, black, brown. I don't give a damn if you blue. Fuck all that. Who are you? Why are you here? It's deep. Quick. Why do your head touch your feet? Why is your back bent? All the houses is going through. All the lights is hitting. Now I'm talking about deep shit, y'all. So now when you see a man bending back on circles, you ain't got to run thinking it's some crazy shit. You just seeing what it is. How lights bend in on itself. How you gonna take action towards these parts of life, regardless. No matter what you're paying attention to, no matter where your actual organs at, or no matter where your mind at, you're gonna still be witnessing this because it was already played out that you was gonna have to go through this. So hey, you gonna change all that if you want to. You still had to get here due to some type of masculine spectrum. Just gotta say that now because you know they got all this high technology. They'll deplete the man, but yet use the sperm. And be like, oh, you don't need man to make babies. Okay. Or do the same vice versa with a female. Okay. It don't make sense. But anyways, so still go back down to it. No matter how much science want to say, hey, let's just make it man. Or hey, this year let's just make it woman. Depending on what push it is, depending on what it fits their agenda. Certain people have agendas out here. Certain people have hurt where they're getting on the internet, right? It's not hurt like as they say, hey, let's just go back to the basics. Let's just go back to who we are, how we got here in the first place. Where they're just like, no, fuck that beginning. We're about to start something completely new. And that's where it go wrong at. Because at the end of the day, you can't put trust on a house without building the foundation first. So that's the reason why you see the foundation taking a little bit longer. The top part is all that easy. That's why when a house leaves, that's the first part to leave. People don't understand that easy come, easy go type of shit. So that's like reason hard work. You get what I'm saying? On my arms. It's just shit like that where you might not even know what you did this stuff for. But later on, you ain't even got to have regrets. I ain't got to have regrets for nothing I did in the past. Rather, at the times you feel used or whatever. Because you know you was doing it for God. But that's all I'm going to say, y'all. And I'm going to use it, man. I told you. We're going to be up here putting in some deep shit, man. And I had to make a video towards angels, man, because there's a lot of creator out here that's actual angels. And they're actual giving the real chariots. And what I mean by that, y'all, is saying, hey, what's going on to the east? God rise in the east. Then going to the west. Talking about why we finna even feel the energy before I even tell you the energy we about to feel and what energy is finna be at play. How the fuck I'm finna tell you what's going on with the mind? What energy is finna be used? You know what I'm saying? If I ain't never talk about the spirit realm, where was it birthed at first? We got to talk about where it was birthed at. Then how it got gave life. Then how it came and died down. Or AKA how we brought it into this realm. Or why this is what the situations we're about to deal with. So it's stuff like that. So if you have a tarot or an astrologer that's teaching you this type of stuff and they're not talking about the alignment, what we're facing right now, and then they're going to name in their planets of why this planet is over here. So why is this type of energy even being promoted from the first place? They're not telling you what's going on with God. They're telling you what's going on with their mind. And these spirits, what they're pulling out, is probably the ones that they're resonating with you due to you listening to them or looking at them. So they're able to control your mind because they already know, hey, you can control your spirit because your mind's going crazy. Your mind's in the spinning cycle where you're just bumping into shit and you don't even see that you're causing yourself actual headaches. What headaches? Head. The Aries type of energy where you can't even find yourself because your actions is being debilitated or falling. AKA just like what we call fall because you can't see the right way of going about it. Now this is just talking about something internal. Anytime you can't take it and see that it's internally going on. When you thinking, oh, I'm just this zodiac. Once again, you're lost into zodiacs. You're lost into the things the Bible even said do not get lost into. Even the Bible said about astrology, like, oh yeah, because some people might get lost into their bag if they got too much fire, where they get so egotistical, they burn bridges, they burn people that they actually want in their life, or where they, what's the opposite of Leo, where they get around people that don't even care about what they're trying to do, don't even want to be around them in the first place, and for the reasons they want them to. See how I'm quick to pop. I'm showing you all oppositions of its own energy within yourself. I'm showing you your fifth house high. You play magic within your mind against yourself. Because at the end of the day, this whole house shit is talking about your mind. So even when it was talking about houses being flooded, people in these houses and things, animals and people, humans, was explaining more of talking about being in lower natures. More, and when people say that, it's talking about you being in your body. So now it's talking about body. But otherwise, it's talking about the mind. If it's talking about mid stuff, royalty, and higher grounded stuff, like king, queen, is always higher. That's why it's looked at today as in what's the highest presidential. You want to pull up in something, presidential. That's the highest it get. So at the end of the day, it's just letting you know the richness. So when it comes to value of spirituality, this is where that comes from. But anyways, man, I'm out. OG Drip.